In the middle of the 8th century, the fall of the Guptas and the Harsha empires left a fractured, violent landscape across Bengal. Contemporary records described this period as Matsyanyam, the law of the fishes. In the absence of a central authority, local warlords functioned like predators in a pond, relentlessly consuming the weak to expand their own small holdings. This endless anarchy eventually forced regional chieftains to take a calculated step toward survival. Instead of continuing the internal struggle, they united and elected a single leader, a man named Gopala, to restore order. This fragile truce became the foundation of the Pāla dynasty. It would fall to Gopala's son, Dharmapala, to inherit this newly stabilized kingdom and expand it into an empire. Taking the throne around 770 CE, Dharmapala recognized that his borders remained vulnerable. To protect his home territory, he began projecting military power far into the Indian heartland. His gaze was fixed on Kannauj. This imperial city controlled the trade routes of the Gangetic Plain, making it the ultimate symbol of legitimacy for any ruler seeking to dominate North India. Dharmapala's march toward Kannauj initiated a multi-generational conflict involving every major power on the subcontinent, a period historians call the Tripartite Struggle. 3 powers collided for Kannauj: the Palas, the western Pratiharas, and the southern Rashtrakutas. The Pratiharas initially defeated Dharmapala near Prayag, pushing his armies back. Suddenly, the Rashtrakutas decimated the Pratiharas before returning south to the Deccan Plateau, leaving Kannauj unguarded. Dharmapala seized the power vacuum. He captured Kannauj, installed his own nominee on the throne, and held a grand imperial assembly to confirm his new authority. Kings from across the region traveled to pay obeisance to the Pāla emperor. This diplomatic triumph earned Dharmapala the title of Uttarapathasvamin, the Lord of the North, marking the Palas as the region's dominant superpower. For decades, it was believed the Palas lacked the economic infrastructure to mint their own metallic money, relying instead on simpler trade systems. The discovery of a unique gold coin weighing over 7 grams identifies a level of centralized wealth previously thought impossible for this era. The obverse depicts the king on horseback with a raised spear, reflecting his cavalry-driven victories. Vertical columns of Brahmi script explicitly name the ruler, Sriman Dharmapala. The reverse features goddess Lakshmi seated on a lotus, symbolizing the economic stability Dharmapala brought to his domain. This artifact confirms that Dharmapala was a sophisticated sovereign who successfully reinforced his military conquests with a foundation of deep economic stability. Dharmapala utilized his imperial treasury to patronize Mahayana Buddhism, stepping in as a primary benefactor, just as the older Nalanda University began to lose its traditional support. He founded Vikramashila University in Bihar, an enormous academic center. These ruins once housed over 100 professors and 1,000 students studying logic, philosophy, and the arts. He also established the Somapura Mahavihara, which remains the largest Buddhist monastery in the Indian subcontinent. Its central structure stands as a monument to the scale of his cultural ambition. These institutions were part of a state-sponsored network. They shared scholars and resources, creating a corridor of intellectual exchange that stretched across his entire empire. By funding these Mahaviharas, Dharmapala replaced the previous cycles of local anarchy with a stable academic culture, establishing his territory as the premier intellectual beacon of Asia. The scholars trained in these halls traveled across the Himalayas into Tibet and sailed to Southeast Asia, exporting the philosophy developed under Pāla patronage. During his 40-year reign, Dharmapala moved his people from a fractured society into an empire defined by its investments in both gold and enlightenment. While the physical borders of his military conquests eventually faded, the intellectual legacy built in his universities permanently shaped the spiritual geography of the world.